How do you make sense of markets? Should you invest in stocks? Or in bonds? In commodities? Or cryptocurrencies maybe? Should you sit on cash instead? One way to make sense of markets is to look at past returns. While history is not guaranteed to repeat, it is said to rhyme. But is it enough to look at returns only? Which of these investments would you make if both have the same return, but one of them is more risky than the other? You would of course choose the investment that has less risk, because why take more risk if you can make the same return with less risk? So how do we measure risk? A simple way is to use the standard deviation of return. The standard deviation is just a fancy name for describing how past changes in the price of an investment deviate from the average. An investment with a high standard deviation will tend to have big deviations, which can translate into big profits and big losses too. Such an investment is considered therefore riskier than one with a low standard deviation. Dividing return by risk gives what's known as the Sharpe ratio. This ratio measures how much return we can possibly make by taking risk. Attractive investments will have a high ratio, which means more return against risk taken, than not so attractive investments, which have a low or negative ratio. We can sort investments from highest to lowest ratio, choosing ones with a high ratio and staying away from ones with a low ratio. Investing this way may not guarantee a high return, but can at least help us choose investments that pay the highest possible return against risk that we're willing to take. Now that's optimal.